Can you create something from nothing? To answer this question, we need to think about whether nothing as a concept can really exist because this universe is all things. And to go before all of this existed, you would have to go where there was no thing. My thing about this is in order to know of nothingness, you had to be there to know it, to observe it. The thing is, you can't exit. To even have a thought is to be part of the cosmos and in dynamic play with it. So if you are able to observe nothingness, which you can totally look at a room, right? Like, and be like, oh, there's nothing in here. I mean, there's the room, but what I'm really trying to get at is true nothingness, meaning you don't even exist. But if you're able to exist to observe something and you are part of the universal set, which the universal set of the cosmos includes everything. So if you're part of it, then that set is not null. So there's not true nothingness even there. And so it's kind of some a question that's been on my mind for a while because it's a way you can think about the universe and its formation. It's also a way you can think about your mindset on things. One of the topics that comes up for people that's relatable is wanting things, like having desires, which is so inherently human, and they will work on creating a lifestyle that can help them obtain that thing in the future. So I think it's a brilliant idea. Do not let go of discernment and logic, all of that, when you are trying to create the life that you want. But if we apply the same principle of like you can't create something out of nothing, so if there's something you want to be able to do in the future, but you don't do it at all right now, I don't know if that thing is necessarily going to happen in the future. Stay with me here. There's a couple thoughts that go into this. There is this idea of, where your focus goes, the energy grows, but a deeper one is about gratitude, right? If you have gratitude towards something, it multiplies that thing. And not a lot of people are really going to like that because if you have a not so great day, you should be allowed to express that. You know, you can't toxic positivity your way out of a situation. So, one thing before I continue, I would like to make very clear is that gratitude is a byproduct of identifying resources. I would like to offer the perspective of finding micro expansions, right? So, if we really do like maybe some reverse engineering, reverse inductive reasoning in thinking that like, well, something can't technically arise from absolute nothingness. There needs to be that something to exist first. What about your desire? If there's something that you want, does it just exist right now? One of the questions I got asked recently was, how can we be more of a conscious person, right? And like the most immediate instinctive response I can think of that's easy to work with is a memory. And when you think about your most memorable moments, do you think about why those memories are memorable and why you can share them? Like, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think about it, and then I'm going to give you the answer. And it could be right, it could align with you, but okay, that's enough time. Yeah, so there's six properties involved with a memory that you can really convey. Five of them being the senses, and the sixth one being the experience of consciousness within from your perspective. So if you're thinking about like, oh wow, I remember this one day when I got my first hot dog. The water was this, there was salt in my hair. I could hear birds chirping and, smell the mustard. I don't know. So all that's going on, right? And then you say, I feel as a result. And like, what is I, right? You, the observer, have engaged with the five properties and now are calcifying it with your sixth one and giving your input on what the final form of all of that was. And it gets stored up here. It's part of your memory. In being more conscious, I do think that you can do this by engaging with your five senses more often. Another thing I would like to add about how you can be more conscious is to look for evidence. I was kind of curious about this. I was just writing in my little notebook and I had some ideas. Someone had brought up to me about like creating free time by hustling in the now so that they can do what they want later. And I just kind of asked myself, like, how can you have something now and have nothing now and then get that something later? I feel that that thing exists right now, that time. You just have to find a micro expansion for it and let that grow more and more. And this made me think, is it possible that everything we want at any point exists in the infinite now? Is it just divvied up by percentages? Right? So like there's a 0.1% portion of your day where you have time to do something that you want. So what happens if you maximize that? Like, I wonder if it stays that percentage when we don't think of this as something that is available to us. Because eventually, and I'm thinking of this in like a hybrid model. Eventually, like if you do work hard and you create this ability to make money for itself, and now you have free time to do what you want, I'm just adding another octave to it, a deeper one, where you do what you need to with action and pair it with looking for the evidence. You're in a way sort of training your reticular activating system, the thing that filters reality, to be able to recognize that there is that thing you're looking for right here. And evidence, when we think about it, is more physical. So we can maybe take it a step backwards and even think of it in terms of thoughts, right? Like I've heard the phrase, if you can think it in your head, you can have it in your hand. And for me, it resonates, but like only these days, maybe not a long time ago. So I was thinking about this some more, specifically about the fact that like we only identify with thoughts when they're negative, but not when it's positive. And so we have a system that's like working 50% of the time. If you wanted to get on a rocket ship and somebody told you this engine only works 50% of the time, would you get on it? You would not. You would say it's not a reliable system. So I feel like this may also not be the most reliable system, right? Like, okay, if it's like, oh, this thing is just never gonna happen. And you're like, yeah, no, that's so true. I'm so confident about this negative thing. And then when it's something positive, you're like, no way. It's something really high out there. I also wrote up in here too. I said be thankful that if you can think it, it has the ability to be rich or reached, sorry. But on the topic of rich, think about wealthy people, right? When they're wearing brand names, like I'm talking like a crazy level of upper echelon. Wealthy people are wearing brands so wealthy that we don't even know about them because if you can know something, you can attain it. So like if Gucci is a brand that every celebrity wears, like simple example, right? Then people will be like, "Well, I also want to wear Gucci too." And wealthy, like that crazy level of wealthy people might be like, what do you think they're thinking when they're thinking we can't let anybody know about this? Like you have to be part of this club to be able to have or be aware of this brand. If you can have awareness of something, there's even if it's a 0.0000001% chance that you would try to go after it, they wouldn't really want it, right? It's something that you have to be in the know about. So, yeah, this thing about the percentages like potentially being divvied up, that was so interesting to think about this morning. If we're experiencing space-time linearly, because this is a lot of experiential data, right? I have that lamp, I have that bed, I have this color, I can smell, see all the five senses, and the six properties, right? I'm having that whole experience. And it's so much data, and I need to take it all in right now. It can only happen one unit of time at a time. And so and because things are changing every little second, every little smallest unit of time you can get, then I'm sure what's changing is the percentages of things being available in your consciousness, space-time environment. I think this might be why people say gratitude can amplify and multiply things. It's not that you're focusing on something and it magically just like you look at an apple and you're like, oh, I'm so thankful for this apple. And now there's 20 apples. Oh, how did that happen? I don't think that's how it is. It's really more the ability to be aware and notice. When you can do that and create the micro expansion of what you want then, now, you will be able to get more and more. You're kind of it's just such an interesting concept that everything is happening right now. I think that's what's so mind-blowing about it. If we're talking about how to be more conscious, look for the evidence of the reality that you want right now. And here's something I want you to get in your head. Here's a stipulation. Do not discriminate if the thing that you want in your possession belongs to someone else, but it's part of your reality, right? What I want to tell everybody is it does not need to be in your possession for it to be a valid part of your reality. Because a lot of the times that's what inspiration is too. When we see it in other people, we're like, I would like to have that. If it never existed in your mind, again, like the reason I'm saying be thankful that if you can think it, you can have it. A lot of the times when people see someone doing better than them and they're aware of it, they're like, oh, I'm lesser than. It's like, In a way that this is, I mean, it is a valid reaction, but in this way, this thing is saying, like, look at what is possible. If it wasn't possible at all for anything to improve in your life, you wouldn't see better. I would love to hear from people. What is it that you want to do, like maybe 6 months from now? Can you name it? And do you think you can find a way to do it like right now? An alternative thing I would like to offer is simple pleasures. Is there something that you know you're going to be doing right now that your best, most wealthiest, most free, most enlightened self would also be doing? An easy example is my favorite combination is having a pain au chocolat and a honey cappuccino, dipping it in there and like listening to jazz. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This combination is something that will stick with me until the end of time. And that's something that no matter how much money I make, I'm still going to enjoy that simple pleasure right now. And that simple pleasure doesn't require me being a multimillionaire to be able to enjoy right here, right now. But I know I will still be enjoying it when I'm a multimillionaire and I'll still be listening to jazz. What this does is it helps you connect to that version of you right now. You can get into that state of mind. Micro expansions need to have that term to them. It's like, okay, why are we adding a word for everything? Even though you might not be thinking that at all. It's because we need to find ways to identify behaviors that can help be digestible for people and create a system for them to follow. Otherwise, it can kind of feel like chaos. But we like chaos. We love fluidity and randomness. We want some structure, so we want organized chaos. If you can know yourself well, the hard problem of consciousness gets a little bit easier. I love being philosophical in this way because when people tell you that end result of like, if you're just more grateful, you'll get everything you want, it doesn't resonate with me. We as human beings crave intimacy, and a little bit of philosophy never hurt anybody. So when you have a little bit of that intimacy with reasoning and logic, because everything needs to be in balance. Dreaming is something that is super valid and everything is workable. You just need to have the structure to get there, but it's not going to happen if you're not going to put in any percentage of work into it. So remember that gratitude is the byproduct of identifying resources, and identifying resources in this case is going to look like finding a micro expansion. And once that happens, you'll feel natural gratitude. You'll be like, wow, I did a little bit of that today. Great. And then you feel better. I mean, it's all working, right? It's subtle things. And over time, just watch how everything evolves in the way you want it to. And in this way, in talking about it and feeling it, you don't have to feel like it's some magical thinking. You can now, again, I have a video on this where magic is just something that's outside of our consciousness. Once it's part of our own mind, it feels like logic and duh. Well, this is the way to do that. So happy magic hunting in your life.